Hey everyone, welcome back to Easy Minimalism for Busy Moms with Jody and Linnea. As we get into the fall, lots of us are beginning to think about the upcoming holidays. Jody and I wanted to share a special episode from our archives that we believe will help you as you begin to make plans. If you're navigating the usual holiday chaos and you're looking for ways to simplify, this episode is a perfect fit, and we think you'll find some great takeaways to help you stress less and enjoy more this season. So let's dive in. In today's episode, we'll be talking about minimalism and holiday decor. So first of all, minimalism and holiday decor can have a wide range of styles and budget, and it doesn't matter, right? Because it's really about what brings you joy. Yeah. So first of all, no matter what we say, if you like a certain style and you like certain things, then you should absolutely have them. Right. There is no right or wrong way for minimalism. It's just about having things that bring you joy or that you use and you can display.
And not having things that stress you out.
Right. So I would say the first step getting into this season is to take out your holiday decor and look through it and sort through it. Are you going to put it up this year, or are you yet again going to store that item another year? If you're going to keep storing it, you haven't used it in a while, think about donating it. Try to put up everything that you have. If it's too much, maybe you need to reduce it. But this is a great time to really take an honest look at what you have and make sure you're using everything that you're putting in storage every year. Look at all the ornaments. Are they all broken? Is all the decor in good shape? Do all the lights work? Is there anything that you need to repair or replace? And just taking an honest look at everything that you have. If you're not using it this season, you're probably not going to use it next season or the one after that. So one thing that we use as holiday decor is holiday cards that we get in the mail. Yeah. I put them on the wall. We enjoy them. We love looking at the pictures of people or reading the letters. Yep. And then they're up for quite a while. And then in January, I take them down and I recycle them. I don't keep them year over year. That just is what works for us. I know some people will turn them into other things or save them, but I just want to make room for new stuff that comes the next year. Yeah. So that's one way that I use something that will be recycled and came to me as a decoration instead of something that I go to the store and purchase. So when I was first married, we bought a Christmas tree on clearance after the holiday. My husband did not grow up celebrating Christmas, and so he wasn't necessarily into it, but I really missed it. And we used that plastic tree for 16 years. And by the end, it was really falling apart. And we talked about replacing it. But instead, we disposed of it. We purchased a Norfolk Island pine. And so we can have this tree in our house all year, which works for us. And then we put little lights on it in the holiday season. And it's beautiful and it's alive.
That's so it's sweet.
Yeah. Growing up, we would cut down a real tree because one of my mom's friends owned a Christmas tree farm. So we never had a plastic tree growing up at all.
Yeah, right.
And so it's been interesting to have like real tree as a child, and then a plastic tree in marriage, and then now like a real tree that's living in our house.
That's neat.
And you'd think maybe my kids wouldn't be okay with it, but to bring all that like light into our house in the holiday season, we actually just string white lights up. And it brings a lot of that warm light. Yeah. And it's beautiful family dinners with some lights up. Yeah. I think the biggest thing that people like is one, the pine smell, which is, it's beautiful. Like it's great. And also the warm lights. Yes. Not the ceiling lights, but like that warm glow. Yes. And you can get that from candles. Right. You can get that from various things. And it does bring that kind of cozy, especially with it getting dark so early. Yes. It is nice to have that cozy lighting. Yep. Whether it's coming from, like I said, candles or a fireplace or something.
I agree. I feel the same way. I feel like, decor is about creating an ambiance. Yeah. Right? And to make it feel special, something different. And so the lighting, I think, is a huge thing. And I don't want to look around at my home and see so many things up that I just feel like chaos, like stress, just like seeing too many things. So we just have one little garland strand. Aside from our tree, we have one garland that we hang a few select of my childhood Swedish wooden ornaments on that are meaningful to me with lights. And then we have this Swedish star that lights up. It's this big paper star thing from IKEA. Mm-hmm. And it's so fun. I wait until Christmas morning to put that on the table. Mm-hmm. And when the kids wake up and we come out and have a meal, it's just like this really beautiful light everywhere in the early morning light. And it's so special.
Yeah.
It is so simple. Mm-hmm. Just the lighting.
Yeah. One thing that the kids and I did when we had a house that had a pine tree in the yard is we'd cut off a few branches and that would bring in that pine smell because back then we had the plastic tree that was falling apart and the cat would climb up into and everything. It was a wreck, but we stuck with it. And so we'd bring the pine branches in and lay them across the mantle. It wasn't a fire hazard because that fireplace didn't work, so we weren't lighting any wood fires in there. And then we also would make a wreath and hang it on the front door.
Nice.
And that would bring that fresh pine smell in that like a fresh tree would. Funny enough though, growing up, we'd always get a real tree, like I said, but my sister was allergic. So the whole month she would have like red, itchy eyes.
Oh no.
So there's many different reasons why a family would pick a certain method to celebrate their holidays. And there is no wrong way. If it brings you joy and it's important to you, then that's minimalism.
Yeah. One easy way to get that smell, if you don't want a real tree, if you have a pine tree in your yard that you don't want to cut down, you just scrape off some of the needles and put them in a jar, poke the holes in the top. Man, you can just smell it in the room.
Yeah, that's great. Another one is like cutting up an orange or putting some cloves and cinnamon into a pot of water. And you can simmer that on the stove. You want to make sure you stay home and around the kitchen, of course, safety first. But that can really bring that like cinnamon type smell, especially if you're having people over. Throw some of that in a really small crock pot and that will kind of give you that holiday smell. It also makes it seem like you're cooking stuff in the kitchen when you're not.
Like that whole thing where you powder some little flour on your cheek just to make it look like you've been working hard in the kitchen. I feel like a lot of, especially like tree ornaments, when you go through those, they're very sentimental, like really tied to memories you have. At least for me. Childhood memories. But sometimes it can just get overwhelming. Like this, by this point in my life, if we keep getting new ornaments every year, I have so many ornaments. And what would you say about going through sentimental things, sentimental holiday decor?
Right. Well, first of all, when I'm looking at sentimental things of any type, when I pick it up, I ask myself if this is bringing me joy or if it's some other kind of emotion. Like, am I keeping it because I feel guilty or nostalgic in like a not great way? Sometimes it's interesting, right? Not everything brings this overwhelming happiness. You might have different memories of different years in your life, or maybe you were a little kid and you didn't really want that ornament, but that was the one that you got. There's so much to it, life, right? And so right away, if there's any kind of negative emotion, I'm done with it. I thank it for its service. I appreciate the person who bought it for me. And I kind of separate the item from my emotions or that person. Like, it's just a thing. It doesn't necessarily hold any memory. It's just a thing. It might remind us of a memory, but it doesn't hold the memory. It might remind us of a person, but it isn't that person.
That's true.
I had ornaments that my grandma had purchased, and beautiful ornaments. But like when I looked at them, I just like missed her. It wasn't like, wow, my grandma. I was more like, oh, it was a grief thing. And so it was okay for me to let them go. I'm not going to forget her. The biggest memory that I have of her is her great sense of humor. And that can come out in many different things when I tell my kids little sayings that she had. And that's the best, right? That's better than a thing. Yeah. Because it can help me relate her to them, help them understand who she was versus like, don't touch that. That's from my grandma. It's more like, oh, here's something she used to say. Like you can fit into any fancy dress if you have a sturdy pair of underwear. Like she had a great sense of humor. She's right too,
Oh, I love that perspective, Jody. That's just great. Because really, I mean, if we're storing especially holiday stuff that we only have out for a short while every year, and it's coming out our ears and we don't have anywhere to put it, and we're taking up storage space that we really could use for other things or to stay more organized, or it takes us days and days to get it all out and set up, and then And then again, at the end, when you have to put everything away, like that's not serving you.
Right. Sometimes when you take out your holiday stuff, there's stuff in there that's almost a regret purchase. Maybe you bought it on clearance. Maybe you bought it last year and then you put it up and it just didn't do it for you. And so now you almost have that regret feeling of, oh, I should use this to get my money out of it. But really, it's better just to let it go.
Yeah.
It's not going to get your money back. So if that's the feeling you have, like, I don't really like this, I regret buying it, immediately let it go.
Yeah.
And you're not going to have those thoughts again.
Right.
And maybe be more mindful in the future about what you purchase. Like, do I really want this? Is this really what I was looking for? Or was I coming in for something else and I ended up with this? Yeah.
Right. Well, and to think of, maybe shifting your mindset instead of just thinking about the money that you spent on it and lost on it.
Yeah.
Or, quote unquote lost. Maybe think about how much of my time does it take to go through all of this stuff every time we get it out and every time we put it away.
Right.
Like I know my Christmas bins, sometimes it's like a Tetris game trying to get everything because I don't want to create another bin.
No.
So to me, that obviously says I need to go through my stuff. But because your time still can be valued as money, right?
Right. Absolutely.
So instead of just thinking about the money that you spent on that item and feeling like you lost it, maybe just think about going forward. From here forward, am I going to take any more of my time to manage this item and have it in my way and store it? That's still, in a way, money.
Or even like, oh, now I have to go out and buy another bin.
Yeah.
Now you just spent more money and the time. Get in the car, go in the store, pick it out, go in the checkout line, pay for it.
Yep.
Put it in your car, drive home.
Yep.
Now, if you really do need a bin, fine. But sometimes we need less bins and less stuff.
Less stuff, right.
Yeah.
Well, and if it's still a fairly new item, you could maybe sell it and get some money for it.
Yeah. I've definitely done that. If it's bigger stuff, especially.
Right.
It's not as waste of your time, like a $2 thing. That's probably not worth it. So I do always put a price point in my mind of what I'm going to list it for. Ice skates would be something that's a little more expensive. And then you can take that money and put it into your holiday budget for activities and other stuff.
Yeah.
And so then, it feels like a wash in a way. Like, okay, I earned a little extra cash to put towards this.
Yeah.
It's like a win-win. And then somebody else got something for a good deal that they are going to use, and maybe they're going to give it as a gift.
Yeah.
And so everybody wins.
That's great. I love that.
One thing that can be fun is turning some decor into an activity. So maybe doing salt dough and doing little cutouts and letting them dry. And then you can hang them up and kids can paint them and stuff. I wouldn't probably save them year over year. I know people do, but I would be worried about like moisture and then you have this lump of moldy salt dough. But it's like a one-off. Like you toss it like those Christmas cards when it's over. But you have a month or something to display them and the kid has their artwork. This would be more pertaining to younger ages. But salt dough dries pretty easy. The ingredients are really cheap. And then again, it's not another like cookie in the season of a million cookies. It's something else they can work with their hands. They can make from scratch, roll it out just like cookies.
That's a great idea.
I've read that plastic or PVC tree needs to be used for 20 years before its energy usage meets that of a real tree.
Wow.
Well, I almost got there with my 16-year-old tree, but it really was falling apart at the end.
This is a great time to mention our upcoming January Declutter event. We will be holding a 4-week Facebook event that has been designed to help you reach your minimalist goals. We will provide you with all the tools and the structure that you need to be successful in this event. You will receive a 70-plus page workbook and be part of a private Facebook group for connection and accountability. In addition, you will have access to 2 months free in our membership community for continued support in maintenance mode. Don't miss this event. We are going to have so much fun providing you with the guidance through daily tasks, tips, prizes, and coaching. Registration is now open at our website, and we would love to have you join us.
And that's a wrap for today's episode about minimalism and holiday decor. We hope you enjoyed delving into this topic with us and found a few tips that might help you on your journey.
We want to extend a heartfelt thank you to our amazing listeners for tuning in. Your support and curiosity are what keeps us going. For more tools and resources to help you on your journey toward a simpler life, visit our website, www.123minimize.com. If you found today's episode valuable, don't forget to subscribe to this podcast so you never miss an opportunity to explore new ideas and perspectives. And if you're inclined, leave us a review, which helps to spread the word to others who might enjoy the journey too. As always, feel free to connect with us on Facebook or Instagram to share your thoughts, suggestions, or just to say hi. Until next time, stay motivated. Take care.